So here's the question we're trying to answer. How do we get productive with AI? Dan, how's my volume level? Good. All right. And yep. What does it mean when we say, how do you get productive with AI? And we really started out just AI, and we realized that it has to be this, because that's the tool. And if it's not like that prescriptive and that relevant to a particular tool, it becomes generic and not useful. So bear with me as we do this. And as I asked that question, my first point here was to get an understanding of the very power of the tool. But most of you on here already have seen that. Who hasn't seen Meclabs at work, solving a complex problem rather quickly? Haven't most of us seen this? Hey, Moose, Little Thunder, I haven't seen you in 2 years, but I recognize your name. Good to have you, buddy. And you too, Tracy, by the way. I know you've been hanging out more, but it's good seeing you back. Folks, the power of the tool is something we think we know, but for the most part, we always underestimate it. How many of you have had experiences where you realized, oh, I can still do this? So it's been my experience that you sort of move through a series of breakthroughs. And in this whole approach today, we're laying a foundation. In the next 6 weeks, we want to get super productive with AI. What do you think it means to be productive with AI? What is the target we're going to try to hit together so that we really accomplish something real, tangible? Any ideas? What does it mean to be productive for you? Irene, maybe Steve, you could mute that. Irene, what does it mean for you to be productive? What do you need to accomplish in 6 weeks together?
I find that trying to determine how the Meclabs psychology, the underpinnings of it, the basics of the 30 years of data that you've been collecting, combined with this new technology, like what does that? I'm trying to figure out what that could mean for the market I've been serving as a copywriter.
Okay.
So, yeah.
That's a great point. And I want to just point out something too. Steve Beeger, you see, is here at Praveen Patel and Taylor Levy. Those are all people on my team standing by to help us today. I haven't done formal introductions of them because I think we need to keep moving. Most of us have met them already. They're here to help us. So Irene, for that to happen, you've got to understand what's possible, right? And then once you understand what's possible, you got to understand what's the critical path to getting there. What's the best way to achieving that? And I think sometimes, take a look at my screen. If you see this for the very first time, like, what do you do with all this? We had a choice to make, and we decided to scaffold in all of the critical value you need and bring it all along together. And that's kind of challenging for folks because it's a lot to absorb all at once. So we're going to take the next 6 weeks and we're going to learn how to use this software in one of two ways. And I'll go back to my notes and I'm going to ask you to take a look at this with me because I'm asking for something. The next 2 minutes may be the most important part of what I do with you, maybe the next 3 minutes. And I'm sort of warning you. I don't like this title until we define it. Do you know why? Because when I commit to you that I'm going to help you get productive with AI, that's something I got to carry with me for the next 6 weeks. And if you commit that you're going to participate and go all in to learn, it's something you need to carry for the next 6 weeks. And if we don't know what getting productive is, like what are we really going to be able to do when we're done, then we really can't commit together properly, can we? I need a way to measure that this is working together. Do you hear me? I need that. And so for that to happen, I want to suggest to you that this is what I mean is productive. How many of you are familiar with the basic structure of a P&L? I'm assuming that's everyone, all right? But just, yes, sort of, all right? We know that P&L stands for profit and loss, right? We know that one half of it's profit. We know that the other half is a loss, right? And when you look at a P&L, typically you break it into pieces. The top piece is your revenue sometimes, and the bottom piece is your cost sometimes. Have you all seen that before? So I'm going to define productive with a P&L. Productive for us together is if at the end of this course, you can use Meclabs AI to impact one or both of those two sets of numbers. You're either saving money on the cost side or you're making money on the revenue side. Everything today is about you learning how to sit down. Think with me now. You're sitting down in front of this device that you're going to see right here. And at the end of 6 weeks, when you sit down, you should know how to sit down here and impact your P&L either on the cost side or the revenue side. Could we all agree for that as our goal together? Yes? Is that a good goal for you? All right. Now, that means, and I'm trying to be clear in my contract with you as a teacher, I failed you if you apply yourself and you still can't at the end of 6 weeks. We think it's going to be 6 to 8 and it'll repeat itself. Now, if I've done everything I can and you haven't done your part, I won't carry that. But if you've done what you can and I've done my part, then it's not on you, it's on me to make sure you get this goal accomplished. A test is a measure of the teacher, not the student. Any student who applies themselves and tries hard and is in the right class should be able to get what they need from the teacher to achieve the class objectives. And if they can't, something's wrong. Now, I just said something that puts me in a bad, difficult light. It makes it really challenging. So I'm doing it for a reason, because I'm going to ask you for something. I'm asking you to commit to really going all in for just 6 weeks towards that goal. And I'm going to tell you that if you say yes, this will be your test, because there will be a test. It will not be an exam in the classic sense. It will be a use case application that will impact your P&L on the revenue or the cost side. If you can spool up and show me work that you've done that you believe will impact the P&L, you have passed. If you can't, one of us has failed. Okay? And so here's my question for you. Will you commit to taking the next 6 weeks, following a track with me to learn how to impact your P&L? That's productive with Meclabs AI. If that's your commitment, can you just nod for me? And if you're not sure, okay, I see that. Good. And some people here, they don't have to. Maybe you want to watch. If you're on video, I can't see you. So I will, I'll let you reach out to me by any way you'd like and let me know. Because this is an ask, it needs an answer. You need to tell me yes, or you need to tell me no. If you don't, I haven't asked hard enough and you haven't faced it. All right. But I think I heard a yes, and I'm going to get started right now. So if you just sit down here and this is what you're looking at and you don't know where to start, what would you do first? I'm going to ask Eugene, I see your name. Are you able to speak in the environment you're in right now? Eugene Kaiser?
Hi, Flint. Yes, I can.
Okay, so if you were just here and you'd never seen this before and you didn't know where to begin, what would you do?
I will watch that video.
Oh, that's a good point. How many of you have already watched one of these 3 videos on here? All right. And did you see, so the first point, I don't need to demonstrate the power, but how many of you watched it and thought, yeah, but I don't know if I can do it. Like that was fast the way he hit all of that. Yeah. It's like, honestly, my questions weren't that smart. They just came fast. They were good questions. You're going to learn that. And so my question again, Eugene, is so if you didn't click on the video, what's your next option? So you watch the video, you see the power, but you don't see how to use it. You see its power. What do you do next?
Yeah. So the next step would be to hit the Talk with AI Mentor button.
All right, somebody send Eugene a gold star to put on his chart because he just got the perfect answer. Eugene, you're already the head of the class. Now, I'm going to tell you why this is so important and why it's rarely done right. This dude can answer all your questions. Let's start with the stuff people, let's start with some dumb ones. What does it cost? Now, the reason this is a dumb question is because I don't even know what it is. Like, what is it? Or like, it's a dumb question. But how many of you think that somebody's going to ask that question? Now, AI Mentor, and I'm constantly refining it. AI Mentor understands the essential plan, the advanced plan, the strategic plan, and he can tell you what the cost is, and he can help you get started. Suppose you want to know which expert to use. How many of you have felt that question before? Like, I don't know which one. Well, let's suppose we wanted to write an email nurture series. Which expert should I use to write an email nurture series? Now, you will also notice that I used text to slow down, but most of you are going to do better to do this a different way. AI Mentor knows which one, and he's telling you. He's recommending this specialist, and he's telling you why you should use it, and he's asking if you need assistance. Now, watch what comes next. Behind the scenes, this is why that answer can help you. And so I'm going to go over to the right here, all right? And I'm going to click on Meclabs AI.com, and I'm going to go back into the admin on a separate piece. This is not the admin you see. This is behind the scenes, because I'm going to unpack the assistant called AI Mentor for you, or the expert in AI terms. Sometimes they call these assistants. Now, there's AI Mentor. And you might wonder, so how will he know these answers? Well, first of all, you'll learn, if you don't know how to do this, how you in your backend can build one of these very fast. But right now, let's just take AI Mentor's prompts. So these are the steps. Introduce yourself, which we just did. Let the user know that you are there to help them. Ask the user to explain their business. Explain the difference between experts, apps, and libraries. Look at the info. This is an FAQ. Look how long it is. See? All of this continues. And there's more than one prompt. So let's go back over here. So let's just do a new chat. By the way, see how I do a new chat? I click on the name. It's brand new now. There's a reason you want to do a new chat when you start a new subject. Can someone tell me why? Yes, Tracy.
Because it's always learning, and by doing the same sort of stuff in that chat, right, it'll keep giving you different answers and kind of learning as you ask more questions on that topic.
But that's pretty much right. Let's see the little send button at the bottom of my screen when I click the little arrow, the airplane by the microphone. You see where my mouse is? See that? You know this. This is how you'd enter. When I hit enter. So if I type right here a message, how do I get started? Back to the good answer from Eugene. How do I get started? Well, when I ask that question and it's a fresh chat, anything I hit right here is being returned to our group of LLMs to produce the best answer filtered through our methodology. If you send a chat with different subjects, it sends the entire chat record so that it knows how to answer you with context. If you send a long chat about a different subject, it may be confusing to it about which thing it's trying to get done. Do you understand that? Do you? The whole chat record gets sent with every time you hit this query. And so you want a new chat record when you start something new. Now, we just had a moment. I'm going to tell you what this moment is. I will deliberately and carefully guide you through pieces, but I will also have these sort of organic moments where there's an opportunity for you to learn something. If you don't know what to do with a moment like that, I would suggest that some of you keep a little set of notes with a journal in it and pieces of information that might help you later you may want to keep. What I'm going to do right now is let's just look at this chat. Greetings. I'm here to ensure you embark on a journey, blah, blah, blah. To lay the groundwork for success, could you share more about your business? Why did he ask that question? And then what does he say? Understanding the ecosystem of Meclabs is pivotal. At its core, this ecosystem is divided into 3 categories: experts, apps, and libraries. He explains them to you. He even gives you starter prompts. Here are some starter prompt ideas to explore aimed at propelling your business framework. Team, what I would like you to understand is that because we have never had a real AI mentor in our history, the world has not been able to produce this kind of thing. Most of us are still thinking wrong. This is like having one of my team members 24 hours a day ready to answer your questions, but not in a rote way, but ready to think about your question and structure the best possible answer. Where do you go from here now? Irene, what would you do? So you're a copywriter, right? Okay. And
Content writer is probably more accurate content.
so what is a content goal for you, Irene? Give me an example of a content goal. Like you're producing a piece to do what?
To illustrate the value my client is offering his customers. And ideally to attract people who would be interested in starting in putting up their hand and say, I'm interested in learning more.
Okay. Irene, I'd like you to hold that case ready for me to use throughout the session together, if we're able to. We'll watch how things go. But look at AI Mentor and see where I started. Now, I have pointed AI Mentor out to say you can get all your questions answered, even about how to leverage the tool. I'm going to show you a second piece, and then we're going to go back to Irene's issue. Look over here now. I'm closing this out. I'm going to go faster. I'm going to Marketing Professor. Now I can use Marketing Professor to say, I need to work on the value proposition for a new business, period. But I'm not clear that I fully understand the methodology, period. Help me by designing a 4-part course, 30 minutes a day, that will teach me the value proposition with the Meclabs methodology. I'm not going to fix that. All right. Now, I've asked this guy the question, Marketing Professor. AI Mentor can coach you and give you answers. What do you think Marketing Professor can do for you? What is he doing right now? He's writing your course right now. And some of you are going to be working with me. I'm going to teach you a series of things that will help you. But what you really need is a complete shattering of your paradigm. Because this is a new world with so many new possibilities. We want to combine the breaking of that paradigm with a step-by-step understanding. And I don't expect you'll have that all clear at the end of this session, but we're on the way. Now look at what we just did. There's your course. Now, I see session 1, session 2. There's the outline, 10 minutes deep dive into the components of the Meclabs value proposition, 10 minutes explanation of how to apply the framework in analyzing and constructing value prop, and 10 minutes interactive exercise to apply it. This is real teaching. This is session 2. So let's just do this, right? Session 2. Now, the reason I'm sharing this with you is because some of you are waiting on the next class, but you don't need to. You could be in here right now teaching yourself. Between AI Mentor and Marketing Professor, there's a ton of things you can do right now. There is the session 2 objective. There's its duration. There's a breakdown. There's an introduction. And I'm going to just say, okay, this is good. And no punctuation. It gets it. This is good. Actually, I'm going to do it this way. Watch this next thing. It's faster and it's better. I'm going to click on the microphone. This is good, period. Teach me this session. Now, I could do it that way, right? Or I could do something else. Now look what it's doing. It's teaching me. Diving into session 2, the Meclabs value proposition, introduction to the value proposition frame, the clarity, member appeal, exclusivity, credibility. There's applying the framework. Here's how to apply it. And it's continuing. Folks, I could go up here. Let's just take this answer that's already come in, and I could do this and watch me get taught now. Oh, it can't because I'm using the microphone to teach you to talk right now. But do you see this little thing I just clicked on? That you'll see down here.
Session 2 of your course focuses on delving into the Meclabs value proposition framework, an essential tool for evaluating and refining value propositions effectively. This session aims to provide you with a thorough understanding of the framework and how to leverage it for constructing compelling value propositions. Session 2. The Meclabs value proposition
I'm
framework.
going to stop it.
Objective.
I'm looking
***, gain an in-depth understanding of the Meclabs value proposition framework and master its application in analyzing and developing value propositions. Duration.
There's the stop button. That's where you stop it. Okay. Folks, we're just starting. But do you realize what we just did together in the last 5 minutes? So even as we spool up the course, I want to introduce you to my other teachers besides Leon, AI mentor and marketing professor. The 4 of us are going to teach you. See, I have hours that stop, but marketing professor, we pay him so well, he works 24 hours a day. And believe me, we pay him, I don't know, $1 million a year, probably just him. All right. He's open 24 hours a day to answer your questions. He's got office hours. And here's the thing. I'm not telling you he's going to be perfect. You're going to come up with something you don't get or understand. But they got this class. Then bring it to us and let's let some human beings help you. Thank God there's still some use for us. I mean, in another week, you won't need me. Just Meclabs AI will jump on you. You won't even know it's not me. It'll just be my cyborg. All right. Are you ready to keep going? Now, we want to all learn. Paul Gerard, tell me of what we've done today. What do you think is most valuable for you and for people on this group? Help us set the learning inside of our spirit. What should we be really walking away with thus far?
I think there's no limitations to the questions we can ask to answer what's in our mind in moving forward and what we're looking for a better understanding of. And the biggest thing that I think the takeaway is that you need to interact and ask more questions as it's giving you feedback.
Yes. And so what you just saw was I could ask a question with voice and he could answer, but we're about to release dialogue. It's not done yet. When dialogue happens, you just talk to him. And you can interrupt and just have a conversation. And it's easy to underestimate what that's going to do for your creative inspiration work. I cannot tell you. I've done it. If you want to practice with it, you can, well, just wait, it'll be here soon. When you start using that, it changes the whole tool. It's an order of magnitude in difference of value. Do you know what comes behind that? Video. Full 3D video. The avatars that you see here, these guys, you're going to be able to pick which one you want and talk to them. Now let's just stop for a second. Let's go back over here. We released this week. Did you see these? Every one. Now, each of these avatars has been released to prep you because soon those avatars will be talking to you or your customers. All right, now let's just stop. That's a piece that you can you put in your mind. You think, I don't need to learn anything. I just need to be aware this is coming. That's how you absorb that. I think, Paul, you did a superb job of bringing the key point in front of us. And so let me say it in the least amount of words right here. We need to leverage the power of AI to understand the power of AI. Do you hear that moment? This is the moment when you should recognize that we're turning the tool in on itself. In deep logic, I call it the inversion paradox. But without going into the logic of it, I think a lot of us are depending on Dan to teach you the power of AI, depending on Flint, depending on your small groups. And yes, I'm going to lead this group with you, but I mean, you don't have to wait on me, folks. There's stuff here that you can use right now that'll make a meaningful difference. And if you're a reseller, these are the very same tools you're going to want to put in front of the people that are standing up verticals and products and so on, or working within your verticals and products. So that we've got. Are you ready to move to the next thing? Yes, Christy. Actually, we're going to stop, take questions. Dan, if you have something to add now, now's the time. And then you see this here? I'm going there. All right. I'm looking at my time. I still got time. Go ahead, Christy.
So when you were having an answer and then you minimized and you went to a different expert, are we still in that same conversation? You're just changing experts, and do we need to minimize when we're changing expert, or can we say, while you're working on this, I also need a copywriter for Instagram to be pulling out some prompts from the blog that copywriter blog is writing?
One of the coolest things is that you can spool everybody up on your team. And I'm going to just say this because Leon brought it up. And Leon, why don't you, well, I promised Dan. Dan, would you just touch base? And if there's any other questions, let's touch those right now. Leon, the thing I was going to ask you to comment on was the marketing team concept, with the caveat I gave you that, Dan has warned us about. But Dan, just do you want to plug in here with anything and sort of catch us? And then if there's any questions, raise a hand here and we'll get to that. Go ahead, Dan.
Yeah, the only thing I want to bring up is before we let people go, we also might want to just show them real quick circle and some of the different courses they could take, because this is also kind of their first touch point with the AI Guild, and I just want to make sure they're aware of everything that is available to them there as well. So this is probably not the right point for it, but we might want to naturally segue into that.
Yeah, what you're going to see is 050 is the gateway into a carefully constructed track. Leon, that's why I built so much scaffolding in the earlier conversation we talked about, because now there's the whole comprehensive program built, and they can move through it. We're going to show you how to do that. But thank you, Dan. Does anybody else have a question? Okay. Oh, and by the way, Christy's was good. And Christy, just so you can see, I can spool up a team member or an expert and start and ask a question, spool up another, all in the same chat. I change chats only when I'm changing topics. Like I might, to see how powerful this can be, I'm trying to set the price for my new software product, period. It provides a realtor with a complete comprehensive suite that drives leads, saves times on producing listings, and drives more revenue, period. What should I price it? And tell me the strategy behind your recommendation, period. Now, I see pricing strategists is working on this, right? But I go right over here to data scientists right now and I say something like this. I'm getting information from a pricing set of recommendations, but I'm not sure how I can test it. Will you lay out the testing program for the pricing recommendations being produced by my strategist? Thank you. Now, look, here's what's happened. Price first, let's gather essential information: cost analysis, market analysis, customer insights. If you fed the spreadsheet in here, it would analyze it for you. Here's why value-based pricing is appropriate. It's recommending value-based pricing. And I'm going to tell you what I would do. Like Peter, if you were the CEO and this was a meeting, really, what I would do is exactly what you would do. I would look at this first guy. I'm going to go back to pricing strategist because I'm talking to him, and I'm going to say something like, I like your recommendations on pricing, but I need them to be more thorough. Go deeper. Give me 3 different versions and debate each one. Afterwards, I'll make the selection and then we will plan it. Now, while I'm doing this, I'm going to ask someone different. I'm going to ask Mohamedou. As I start to engage, something changes in my voice and the way I interact. Have you noticed it? What's different about it? By the way, there's price strategies. They've given perceived value, that's right out of our methodology, competitive positioning and customer segmentation. Data scientist is laying out the pricing, the testing plan for testing the pricing to get it right. And then look over here. Price strategist has gone back and given me 3: a tiered subscription pricing model, a value-based pricing with performance metrics, and a freemium model with premium features. Back to the question, Mohamedou, what did I do that produced this? Irene, watch what I do while he's answering.
You are in a meeting with your marketing team. And
That's
you're having discussion with them.
That's exactly right. And that's how you should talk. Stop thinking software. Remember I said you don't learn Meclabs AI, you get to know it. This is a team. Leon, tell me what you were saying earlier about that, and we'll go right to what I'm doing. While I'm doing that, watch what happens next, Irene. Copywriter blog post. Yeah, go ahead, Leon. You're on mute though, buddy. Share with us your idea about the marketing team concept.
Yeah, so what I was thinking, especially working with individuals, business owners, entrepreneurs, is we kind of had a payoff line called creating your entire marketing team using only one AI tool. Because that's effectively what Flint is showing you. Is no one there that's, I think there might be one missing, which is still on the way. I'm sure someone's doing it, which is a SEO specialist. But generally speaking, your whole marketing team sits in that one category there, irrespective of the apps and the libraries, which Flint will tell you about. But I really see this as a marketing team. If you want to create Instagram posts, you create them immediately. And everything where I see the benefit here is it's not like ChatGPT. So I work with entrepreneurs who are using ChatGPT and they say, oh, it created me a beautiful Facebook post. But it's not using any heuristics, any methodology, any formula, no experiments behind it. It's just pulling it from all the archived information that ChatGPT pulls it from, and then obviously its own interpretation of that information. So yeah, I see it as a one-man marketing team.
Okay.
Flynn, can I give a small anecdote I had yesterday? Actually, I almost shared it.
Yes, please.
Well, I often have many marketing meetings with you and Dan and a couple of people through Meclabs AI.
Mm-hmm.
And I was yesterday, I think I was trying to brainstorm something. So I created a debate with like the founder of HubSpot, you, Gary V. And at some point in time, the answer that you gave, technically, the AI gave was, yeah, that's good. But remember, clarity trumps persuasion.
That's funny, Mohamedou. That's really funny. While you were talking, we've just wrote a 750-word blog post on pricing strategy. And Irene, it's at the Meclabs level of quality content. Like it's the real thing. It's not like the dribble. How many of you look at all the dribble all over the internet? Like pricing is just the same stuff. And by the way, an LLM is just going to give you the same stuff because all it does is read all that, homogenize it, and predict what you need next. So you get the same dribble. But when you filter in all this other stuff that you've seen we lay here, then you get these results. Now, Irene, I want you to notice what I just did. I wrote it again in the style of Ben Burstein. So now I have two versions. I just picked the best. I have two complete blog posts. Those blog posts are based on the pricing strategy and the testing strategy, and they're written. And we've done it in a minute. Remember what I said about the P&L? Everybody on here should be thinking, you're looking for that P&L opportunity. And the one for you, Irene, you could start to see this. And just now and then, I'm going to, in the teaching, throw a caveat out and then use it if it's useful. Irene, here's a product that you could sell. That is, I will train AI on the voicing of your brand or your CEO or your founder or your whatever. Once it's trained, we will give this capability into a workspace where your entire team can write. Now you can charge, like, I mean, I'm not working you out of a job. I'm working you into more money. Then, they don't pay a lot to write a blog post, but you might get thousands of dollars to create a writer who can write in the style of the brand and who can be spooled up and used by them right. And like you can prove it. You can just show it to them. Do you know that I have a secret code on here and it writes emails like Steve Jobs whenever I type it in? I fed Meclabs AI Steve Jobs emails. I had it analyze it. It wrote an algorithm. It figured out how Steve wrote. I fed it negotiations that Steve did with the head of the publishing houses for the book deals that he did inside of not Kindle, but inside of and the music companies also inside of iTunes. And he writes like Steve right now. So what could you do? In another company, an enterprise company, his name is Dr. Livingston. Dr. Livingston is the founder of Life Boost Coffee. I don't know if you know, they're a big company. They're the first big organic brand. He's a chiropractor also. His whole team uses every day. First thing we did was create Dr. Livingston. And Dr. Livingston AI writes all the emails for the company. Okay. Are you learning, team? Is this helpful? Let's get real practical again. Okay. So let's go back. Let's
So while they're going on to the next thing, your audio has gotten lower for some reason. It was high in the beginning and lower in the end.
Sometimes Zoom just turns it down, guys. So let's see if we can fix that for you real
There's
quick.
someone in Zoom HQ that's out to get Flint, I swear, the way they fluctuate his audio.
You keep turning my yeah. And
There
Dan,
you go.
interrupt me when it happens again, buddy. Okay.
It went up and it went just right back down. It went up for a second.
I can't fix that.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on.
Let me turn off.
There we go. It
I
comes
just-
up for a second.
And then it turns back down.
There you go. It's good.
Let me close Slack. See if it's all right. I'm going to leave it open so I can see it for a few minutes and see if it just went down. Guys, I'm doing my best. Cliff, you'll have to pick this up. Can you hear me?
We can hear you. It's okay. We'll be active listeners.
It's really bad as a teacher to have that when people can't hear you. I'm sorry. But we'll try to do better. All right. So folks, I'm on to my third point. Let's get clear where we are because of the sort of keeping our rhythm. How do we get productive? We define productive as an impact on the P&L on this side or that side, on revenue or cost. We've said that right now, you can leverage the power of two experts to really help you get familiar, AI Mentor and Marketing Professor. Let Marketing Professor teach you anything. And if you happen to have kids, ask him to teach their homework. Let me tell you why. Watch now. I go back to Meclabs admin, and I'm going to go over to assistants, and I'm going to go over to Marketing Professor. And there's a lot of them standing up in here. So give me just a second. Help me find it. There we go. All right. Now, folks, look at Marketing Professor. Do you see all these gray cards? Do you see all the cards? Every card is a vast prompt powered by an algorithm.
Mm.
I'm going to pick one to show you why it can help your kids. Here we go. Boom. Look. Pedagogical approach and lesson planning, problem-solving skills, communication style. And when you see these short, like this paragraph, that's probably 500 words that were reduced through specialized algorithms into the tightest, most concise prompt I can get in order to save on the cost of sending the prompts out. Look, communication style, technological proficiency, all of this is, and the style, all of this is being set up to make this guy a good teacher, not just somebody who knows the content. So Marketing Professor was trained on being an excellent teacher, and Marketing Professor was trained on delivering content. Now, with that in mind, let's just do an experiment real fast that might help you. And so here I go with this idea. Let's do a new chat. Let's go to Marketing Professor, and let's do this. Now, I just did something. Let's see how I did it. New chat was click. I just clicked on my list. If this is closed, I can pick an expert here by spooling up my chat. I can also pick the same experts in the drop downs. I can use each directory. Do you see these directories? They're designed like which apps are what. Here they are. And here's how to use them. Use these. There's your apps. There's your experts. There's your libraries. By the way, if you went inside and said, I'm not even clear what the difference is, it's coming. This is the one course where you don't have to you apply yourself, but just relax. It's going to happen. So here's what I'm going to do. Who has, Dan, you got kids. How old's your youngest?
He's 16.
16. Let's take a subject. All right. Let's teach photosynthesis to my 16-year-old, period. Write a 30-minute session that explains all of the basics, period. Speaking of which, while you watch this unfold, somebody came to me and said, can we lay this out? Can you imagine if some of you have thought about a business, if you do this in the homeschool business, you've made so much money, you don't even know what to do. So it's following our pedagogy. It's writing the whole thing. It's explaining photosynthesis. And I don't know if there's an interactive Q&A session, right, Hal? And let's just say, produce. I don't know what's going to happen on this. Scientific I'm not going to fix the spelling. Diagram of the photosynthesis process. All right. Now, is it just me, or is this kind of remarkable what you're seeing right here? There's the core concept. Look at the content, because you're used to looking at like, this is good. The goal, set the context and stimulate curiosity. Activity, quickly brainstorm on why plants are green and how they might feed themselves without moving. Can you see how that's useful? Meclabs application. Now it's trained in to do this, and you can ignore this, but it's bringing Meclabs in because that's told always to bring in the method. Now look, core competence, concepts, the goal, here's the content, definition of photosynthesis. There's the equation that defines it. Now I could say, and there's a diagram, we'll see, there it is. Explain the equation on a third grade level. So imagine my kids right now, folks, are here, and I got the whole thing being taught to them. And let's look at this. Let's look at the picture. See if it's any good. I can't make it bigger, so I'd have to download it. That might be a feature we want to add, guys, is being able to click and enlarge it. But you can save this picture. You can do whatever you want. Bottom line is, look down here. Now the equation is getting explained. Let's make this bigger. Go up so you can read it. Look, to explain the equation to a third grader, think about it like a recipe or a puzzle. It doesn't know it's explaining what an equation is. So I'm going to say, explain the photosynthesis equation on a third grade level.
Yeah, but
Hey, Flint, we got a question in the chat.
You have the web page analyzer right now. It's not an expert.
It changed. I must have shifted it. Okay, that's it. Explain the photosynthesis process equation on a third grade level. You'll notice that I don't even type. I use voice the whole time when you're not here. So now let's go back up. And all the glitches are really important. Point out the glitches because you learn from those, right? And also, I want you to know how to overcome them. So there is the introduction. I'll bring marketing professor in to look at this. There's the photosynthesis diagram. And here is the course being taught. And look, all right, let's explain the photosynthesis equation in a way that's easy to understand. Do you know what this first line is? It always restates your challenge so that you can validate that you're going in the right direction with the reply. Then what it says is, think of photosynthesis like a magical kitchen recipe that plants use to make their food. Isn't that good? The ingredients for this recipe are sunlight, water, carbon dioxide. It explains it. Now, the recipe is to mix water and carbon dioxide in a plant's leaves. I won't keep going. The equation we use to talk about this looks like this, but let's make it super simple. And then it explains it in 2 bullets. We take the carbon dioxide from the air, the water from the soil, and shine some light on them. Then, like magic, the plants make their own food, glucose, and give off oxygen, O2, for us to breathe. I'm done with that piece. I'm using a non-traditional way to teach because I'm not just trying to help you see how. I'm trying to help you see that it's possible. So let's go back to our outline. We can use May I Mentor and we can marketing professor. When you come back this coming week or in the next session, I'm going to teach you how the levels work, how the blocks, you know what a block is? Experts, apps, and libraries, how to structure them and use them in a query. And we're going to work through this piece that you see next. Once we feel like we can sit down in front of the tool like a decent craftsman with an understanding of how to work it, we're going to start solving challenges together so that you can have the problem you're going to have in front of me, not at home at 2 o'clock in the morning when you're working on your computer. And you'll get to see the practical use cases force you into understanding the parts you don't know. I'm always watching for the moment when you see a way to impact your P&L. We have 5 minutes left. We're not going to try to teach. I'm going to ask you to help everybody else. Irene, what did you see today that you're going to take away? And as you answer me, I want you to think about the rest of the group, because you're not only sharing this with me, you're sharing it with a hope that it might help someone else. Go.
I saw that there's getting in there and getting your hands dirty and questioning it reveals a lot of things that you could do that you haven't even thought of yet.
Oh, that's perfect. You also get a gold star, because that's really what it is. Yes. Go in, get your hands dirty, ask questions. It's the only way to sort of get on the other side of this scary beast. All right. Paul Gerard, I'm going to say this again. I was told that you did very good. He stepped in and taught 200 and did a good job. Thank you, Paul. But what are you walking away? Robert, I'm asking you next. Paul, what can the group walk away with from this? And what are you walking away from our first session together?
I think the biggest thing is you don't know what you don't know. And so using this as a resource is probably the biggest thing, and just keep asking questions.
Thank you. Robert, your turn.
I used AI Mentor a little bit, but not to the extent I needed to. And so this really laid out the structure of where to begin and then go to Professor, because I was getting frustrated with the Professor on analyzing my website. But with AI Mentor, it's going to lay out a lot more processes for me. So this really helped me. This meeting got me to the basics. I guess I'm a slow learner, but this really helped me, this meeting.
Okay, well, we're going to keep doing this, and I'm going to ask Peter. I don't want to constantly put you on the spot, but I still think you could help us. What are you walking away with, Peter, that might help the rest? You're on mute, buddy.
So, at the risk of being a little bit overdramatic, this particular meeting has been the most powerful one I've listened to for a decade. It's going to completely change the way I do work. You know that I'm trying to get spun up as quickly as possible. So time, when you talk about productivity, time is huge part of the productivity measure. And what I've been doing to try and learn in the eight or so days I've been back at Meclabs is, jumping around in a circle, listening to videos, checking chats, and, I'm getting there, but it's taking far too long. I'm going to use this to teach myself what I need to know. And to get spun up very quickly. So this has been phenomenal. Thank you very much.
Well, Peter, I thought you'd help the group, and that's great. So this is what I'd like to suggest to you. All of you, here's how we can get the most, because you're going to go there, you're going to get lots of help, and then you're going to hit a wall somewhere, right? And when you do, that's when you need to take a note of it, and that needs to be discussed in this class. Like Peter, you learn, and you think, wait a second, but I don't understand this. Why did it say that? If you can make a note of that, we'll bring those things in here. And we'll cross those bridges together, because one of the things that I want to avoid, you help me avoid this, is I come in, I show you fast, it looks almost perfect. You go back and try it, it doesn't work the same way, and you don't know what to do. Okay, nobody wins if I look good. Your P&L doesn't change. Okay, if we talk about something here and you go back and apply it and you hit a wall, bring it back in here and we'll touch it realistically together. So we're facing the truth, all the ugly stuff, just as well as the pretty stuff, and get better. Okay. Thank you, Peter. Thank you, everyone. It is 10:59. Robert, if you ask AI Mentor, where would I begin with my website? It'll give you the right expert to start with. Now for your homework. Are you ready for homework? Okay. It could be a website, or it could be a piece of content, or it could be an email. But what I'd like you to do is to go back. You're going to save your chat. Do you know how to save a chat? Do you want to share your chat? Okay, I'll show you this in the end. Because I'm going to ask you to do a piece of work and send me your chat. I'm going to look at your technique and critique it in the next meeting. Here's how you do that. This is Meclabs AI. I'm going to go to a previous chat. Look at where I do. Every time I do this, even though you know it, I'm going to do it. I'm going to slow down so somebody might learn. I'm going to click on that little clock. Tooltips really help you understand. I am so mad at this helpful resources tooltip. This is the entire Fast Class series, and all it says is helpful resources. We haven't had a chance to go here yet. Like, it's everything. It's the whole course, all in here, right inside of Meclabs AI. You can learn it as you go. So don't worry about that. I'll close. I'm going to get out of that, and I'm going to go back to this one. See this little chat history guy? I'm gonna click on this chat. How do I get started? Let's go to somewhere further down. I don't know what this is. Let's try this one. Okay. Facebook ads. See how long this chat is? Look at all this content, right? This is the full project plan. By the way, I was on a call when he spooled all this work up. The guy was speechless. All right, let's do this. Hit share, create link, copy link. Now, I'm not going to send you that chat, but I'll tell you what I am going to do. I'm going to go right here. I'm going to go to the teaching chat that we just did with homework. Would you like to see that? Just in case you want to do it. So here's what I do. I share it. I create the link. I copy the link. And you're done. I'm going to go ahead and chat right now. I'm pasting it. So this chat link is to that presentation. Now, I'm also going to be using this as I teach, but what I want you to do is to go focus. Let's not do a use case. Let's not do a test. Let's not do a for instance. Find some little thing that's important. The next email you got to write in your business, the next landing page you might want to review. Find something that's in your workflow. Apply Meclabs AI to it. Save the chat and send the link. You got it? Taylor, are you on here, buddy? I'm sure you are. You'll need to capture all those and get them ready for me, okay? Everybody understand? All right. Dan, close us out, friend. If you're on here. He might have had to leave.
Thanks to everyone for attending. I think we're getting the basics going here. I just also want to reiterate for people who are in the AI Guild, we have a whole circle space dedicated to MEC 50 where you can also share chats with each other, learn from each other. There's definitely been a lot of peer learning in our other courses. And if you're not in the AI Guild yet, just go to join.meclabsai.com. There's a free 3-month scholarship. You can kind of get going in there. Tracy was asking, just to be clear, Flint, do you want people to email this to you personally, or do you want them to post it in the MEC 50?
I'd like to post it in Circle in MEC 50, and I'll be looking at it and commenting, and let's all look at it and comment. We'll come in next week having learned together some things from how we tried to solve this. I think the most important part of what I said, and I think it's a mistake made by a lot of institutions, is it's not the same when it's a practice. Give me a real workflow. Give me a real issue. Work on that. It'll get more real when we do that. Thank you all. I'll see you soon.